Hey guys, this is Rakesh from Dev Simplified. If you find this video as informative, just put thumbs up button and share your feedbacks. This video is all about static variable, instance variable, and object creation. Static variable. The word static means not changing or say fixed. Let's say example, in a bank, the information such as bank name, bank ID, bank address and bank email are not going to be changed from one customer to another customer. So these information are considered as a common property or say static value which is being fixed and not changeable. What is static variable in Java? Any variable which is declared inside a class but outside a method with the keyword static is what we call as static variable. Let me create a class, new class with the name bank and select the main method and click finish. So once a class is created, create a static variable static string, that is sequence of characters, bank name equal to ds, and another static variable int id equal to 1 or 2, static string bank address equal to Chennai, India. Create a static variable static long bank phone equal to 98765432210. So it indicates integer, so we are supposed to put L to mention it as a long number. So as of now we have created a static variable which is present inside the class but outside a method with the keyword static. When should we use static variable in Java? In order to store a value which is commonly needed for almost all the classes in the application, because static variable basically refers to a common properties. How to access static variable in Java? When a static variable is present in the same class, then the static variable can be accessed by using variable name or class name dot variable name. When a static variable is present in the same class, then the static variable can be accessed directly by using variable name, that is bank name, or else say class name dot variable name bank dot bank name. So we can, the same way I can access the other variables such as ID, bank address, whereas when a static variable is present in a different class, then the static variable can be accessed only by using class name dot variable name. Let me create one more class with the name bank implementation. Okay. So in this class, I'm going to create a static variable with the name static long bank pin code. So equal to something like 999. So I created a static variable over here. And let's assume I want to access this static variable called as bank pin code in the class bank. If you want to access a static variable which is present in a different class, then you can access the static variable only by using class name, that is bank implementation, that is BANKIMPL dot bank pin code. Static variables support default values as well. If you don't initialize a static variable, still it provides you value, that is default value. In order to check whether the static variable is supporting default values or not, okay, so let me create a static variable without initializing it out. So static boolean status. So I'm not initializing this static variable, I'm keeping it as it is. So when I try to print it out, so main access it out or print it out, see status. If I try to print it, it's giving me the default values. Instance variable. The word instance literally means changing or dynamic. Instance variable. Let's consider a scenario. In a bank, the details such as customer name, customer ID, customer address and customer email will keeps on changing from one person to another. So that's why these informations are what we say as instant information or dynamic information. On a whole, the common properties or information which are common for all the customers are what we say as static variable, And the information which keeps changing from one customer to another customer is what we say as instance variables. What is instance variable in Java? Any variable which is declared inside a class but outside a method without a keyword static is what we call as instance variables. Instance variables support default values. So if you don't initialize the instance variable, it still provides the default values. When should we use instance variables in Java? When we want to store a value which is not common for all the classes and very specific to a class, that's the scenario we are supposed to use instance variables in Java. How to access instance variables in Java? Instance variables can be accessed or used only by using a syntax object name dot variable name. Now, you will get a question, what is object? Of course, object is a real-time entity which contains states and behavior. For example, fan is an object, projector is an object. In a fan, the states represents on and off, whereas the behavior is provides air. For a projector, the states are on, off and freeze, and behavior is projects display. Objects in Java represent states, that is variables, and behavior such as methods. According to the class diagram, the class name is bank and it contains variables such as cust name, cust ID, cust address and cust phone, and it contains methods namely deposit and withdrawal. From this class diagram, we could see actor will be the class name and the variables such as name, gender, age, rating are supposed to be known by the object, so we can say it as to know. And coming towards method, act and stunt are to be performed by the object, so that we can say it as a to do. How to create an object in Java? In order to create an object in Java, we need to follow the below syntax. Class name reference variable equal to new class name, that is constructor. In this statement, the class name space reference variable are considered as class declaration and reference variable equal to new class name, that is constructor. This statement is what we call as object initialization. From the given statement, the reference variable represents identifier which acts as an object name equal to new. New is a keyword which helps us to create a new object. Space, class name, open and close parenthesis. This represents constructor. So we'll be looking around constructor in later videos. As of now, just leave it as it is. Reference variable is very similar to a visiting card. Because visiting card doesn't contain your home, or say visiting card is not your home. Visiting card just contains the address of your home. As like that, the reference variable is not the object. Actually, reference variable contains the memory address of an object. Why do we need an object in Java? In order to access the instance members, namely instance variables, instance method and instance block, we need an object. We are going to create a new class with the name customer to work around instance variables. So new class customer, select the main method and finish. Now you can see a class with the name customer has been created. The next step is to create an instance variables. So any variable which is declared inside a class but outside a method without a keyword static is what we call as instance variable. I'm going to create an instance variables of type string, that is sequence of characters, with the name cust name. String cust name. I'm not going to initialize the instance variables as well. And then comes long cust phone. In order to access these instance variables, I'm supposed to create an object. So in order to create an object, we are supposed to follow certain syntax, namely class name, that is customer, and then comes reference variable name. I'm going to name it as cust equal to new. New is a keyword which helps us to create a new object every time. And then comes constructor, that is same name as that of a class name. So I have created an object with the name cust. So before accessing those instance variables, I just want to make sure what is available inside cust. So let me print cust. So when I try to print the reference variable, it is giving me some string. What is this string actually? This string is what we call as fully qualified class name, that is package name dot class name @ of memory address. So the reference variable cust is not the object, it is just a variable which holds the address of the object. Okay. So using this reference variable cust, I'm going to initialize the instance variables, namely cust name equal to ds, and then comes cust phone equal to 987654322, just L. So we have initialized the instance variables by using an object. So let me create one more instance variables without initializing it out. Int cust id. So I'm not going to initialize the instance variables. If I try to access it out, say if I try to print it out, cust id. So it gives us the default value because instance variables support default values. Let's debug the same program by adding one more set of object. So customer cust2 equal to new, again constructor customer. So I have created one more object reference over here. So I'm going to initialize the instance variables for cust2 object. Cust2 dot cust id equal to 90, and then comes cust2 dot cust name equal to, that's a string, so dev simplified. Then comes cust2 dot cust phone equal to 98765x. So since it's a long number, so I'm going to place L over there. So we have created two objects, namely. So for instance variables, for same variable name, we can store different set of values by creating object. So when I go for the debug mode, let me execute the application. Debug as Java application. You could find the execution starts with line number 9. When I step over, you could see an object which is created with the name cust. So values inside, out of 3, we have initialized 2 values and 1 value we have not initialized, so it is still storing the default value. When it goes for object 2, that is cust2, you could see all the values has been storing the default values and all the 3 values has been initialized. So using instance variables, you can store this different set of initialized values with respect to objects. Coming towards keyword learning process, so far we have completed 9 out of 43 keywords. And from today's video, we have completed 2 new keywords, that is new and static. So right now the current count is 11 out of 43 and 32 to go. And this is Rakesh signing off. If you like this video, just subscribe to our channel Dev Simplified and press the bell button for further updates.